Welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I am your host, Scott, and with me as always, my co-host, Ryan.
That's right, and we are discussing what is likely the most controversial moment of the year. I don't know yet, but it was revealed who the last hero is.
Ryan, this is going to go down the end of our year episode. It's one of those big. Who was going to be Silhouette 4? Was it everybody's favorite cuddly little blue beast, or was it going to be everyone's favorite magnet monster, Magneto?
Magnet monster? Okay.
I don't know. I was trying to go with something that didn't really work.
I think when the silhouettes first came out, I think that there definitely was more leaning towards Beast. But I think once what do you call it? Once people started playing Apocalypse and they started seeing the Magneto in the
campaign, the campaign log, you kind of see he was a little more part of the storyline.
Yeah, I think that's when the real movement of the Magneto started to hit, and they were right. They were right. And this is not unprecedented. We've seen a villain be a hero before. Ryan, do you know all the heroes that are villains and the villains that are heroes in this game? I believe we have a Nebula.
That is correct. I don't know if there's more.
And
that's what I
think that's it.
Congratulations. Yeah.
I did it. All right.
Yes.
But yes, I came out, and the question is, did they take what the villain did and just turn it into a hero form like they did Nebula? We'll find out.
Yes, we will. Let's dive right in, I think. I'm going to take his alter ego. It's kind of cool. I like the art. He's got a little pocket watch he's disassembling while he's sitting there kind of enjoying a cup of tea. So he is a mutant, 3 recovery, 10 hit points, 6 hand size, pretty standard across the board. He's a mutant survivor. Response: after you change to this form, shuffle the top 3 cards of your discard pile into your deck.
Interesting.
Yeah, to me it's one of those where you kind of have to pay attention to the sequencing, right, of your resources and everything you're throwing down. So then when you flip over, because what if you have paying for a 4-cost card, right? You pay a double, 2 random singles, and then your event is played down, right? So then it would go down, and whatever that sequencing was, then your event gets discarded. And if that double is stuck at the bottom, it's card number 4, you're not going to be able to grab that and shuffle that back in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're right. You're going to have to be just a little bit more careful on it, assuming you're going down.
Right. But response is nice. It's got the typical flip down. Do it. Try and flip down and back as easily as you can. Maybe he's got a card that can make him flip back into hero form pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, maybe. So here's a quick question, just for a general rules question. A little bit of rules going up. If an encounter card has you flip to alter ego form, are you able to activate your response?
I would say yes, because it's after you change this form, so that window opens. It's a response to that. So yes.
So the question is, it says after you, meaning like you chose to flip, or is it just in general?
You as an identity, yeah. I think it's you as identity flip to that form, not whether you voluntarily are forced to flip to it.
All right, well, I will accept your definition.
It's my official ruling.
It's done. It's going to be in the rules update. Let's see. Shall we move on to the hero side?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Magneto. You're right. I think the art looks pretty good on this. Has the cars all around him. He is a 2/2/2, so pretty standard. And 5 hand size, standard. He has magnetic pull. 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 Not like Deadpool. Action. Discard cards from the top of your deck until a magnetic card is discarded. Add that card to your hand. Limit once per round. He's also an X-Men. So this is a little bit of like Miss Marvel's ability, just in hero form. And I think it does kind of match a little bit of what he's doing in his villain side, or not villain side, but his villain scenario. He's trying to get those magnetic cards, and you're going to get them in your hand so you can play them, because I'm assuming his magnetic cards are quite important.
Yeah, and just taking a quick glance, any card that's been revealed that are his are all magnetic traded. So you should have a 15 cards, and then those will whittle down as you put events and supports and things. Sorry, not events, sorry, upgrades. So
yep. And this right here makes sense why he has his alter ego ability to try to get cards back into his deck, because this is a good insight that he is milling his deck. You are probably going to be decking out a fair amount, more than the standard hero.
Right. What do you think about that mechanism? Milling your deck for, a specific card. We'll look at a couple of his upgrades that give him a little bit of buff due to his discarding. But just that concept of your own deck mill.
I think with any hero that has, like, I guess you could say, like, a little bit of negative on how they play, as long as there's something to help offset that, I'm fine with it. So, like, Deadpool has his little, his card that helps increase the thwart level of the main scheme. Cool. That makes more sense. I think Wanda has some cards that kind of help utilize when she's milling the encounter deck. Star-Lord doesn't have anything.
I think that's the point. As long as it's been balanced, right? They put in some mechanism to kind of counteract the negative.
Yeah. So let's unless you have another thing, let's move on to see some of those cards to see if there's any help.
So I'm going
to
talk about one of his upgrades. It's a 2-cost upgrade, Magneto's armor, which the art is sweet looking. It is armor, magnetic traded response after you resolve your magnetic pull ability. If you discarded at least one of the following resource icons, has a mental, Magneto gets +1 thwart for this round. Physical, Magneto gets +1 attack this round. And a lightning, Magneto gets +1 defense this round. So depending on how many cards you discard, you could bump yourself to 3/3/3.
That's true.
That's pretty amazing. And it's the whole round, right? So you get your defense. If you can figure out how to ready more, that's pretty good. A 3 attack, 3 thwart. It's like Cable kind of territory you're looking at there.
Yeah. I think that kind of lends the idea that I don't know if he has any of them, but it'd be nice to have him be able to ready.
Right.
So if he has any cards in his kit, or say maybe you need to play like a protection that's got a lot of opportunities to ready, that might be good for him to utilize those big stats.
Right. All right, I got a question for you. I've seen a little bit of chatter on the interwebs. You discard a wild. Does it let you pick,
I've seen that.
Or does it just whiff?
I believe it whiffs, because basically the word on the street, and I think the actual rule is when you spend a wild resource, you can count it as any of the 3. But in this case, you're discarding. You're not spending the wild resource, so it'd be its own resource.
Correct. It is a 4th resource type. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
so
job.
In this case, if you're going to focus on a Magneto's armor build, wilds are not great.
They are not your friend, which kind of goes counterintuitive to like digging deep, because those will come to you when you discard them, but they're not going to do much for his armor.
Yep. And then, of course, he has some cards in his deck, or at least one that's revealed, that has a wild resource, so it's not helping you in that way.
But it's magnetic, so it would stop and you'd pull it, and the armor really wouldn't do anything anyways.
Yeah. So he's got, the support Asteroid M, 2-cost, magnetic, of course. It's a location, alter ego action, exhaust Asteroid M, shuffle the topmost magnetic card in your discard pile into your deck, and heal 1 damage from your identity. So it's just a nice card to have if you can get it out, kind of thing. But I don't think it's a make or break for the deck.
I agree. And, depending on, he's a character, just from like looking at it so far, like, it kind of wants you to be flipping down. Like that helps his engine go. So it might be nice just to kind of heal that one and get maybe a decent magnetic card. Like if you had to get rid of something, get it back in your deck pretty easy.
Yeah. We kind of skipped it, but what about Magneto's helmet? What do you think of that one?
I think it's pretty straightforward, right? 3 cost, upgrade, armor, Magneto gains steady. Nice. Seems like Magneto should be pretty beefy. And then it has a resource, exhaust Magneto's helmet, generate a wild resource for a magnetic card, which is nice because it can work on events, upgrades, supports, all of his magnetic traded, which is nice.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's... Oh, good.
I was just going to say, he seems very... he wants like a team building exercise for him. Well, no, because he doesn't have magnetic, so that's kind of worthless.
Yeah, team building might be great.
I just realized that he does not have the magnetic trait, so that's not going to work.
No, he's Def Focus, because it's a card that comes in this his pre-con, because he's got some superpowers on his events.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think there's really other...
for some reason, I was thinking magnetic was going to be one of his things, and that would boost him, but he doesn't. He's just an X-Man.
That's true. Yeah, I think he has steady. Okay, that makes sense for... I think they give steady to some of the more stronger type mutants.
Like Hulk, yeah.
Yeah. that would make too much sense.
Don't get me started.
Honestly, he should be one that gets stalwart. That would be unique for Hulk. Yes,
that would be unique. All right, we're talking about Magneto, Ryan.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, generate wild, cool.
Yeah,
simple. What about the 3 costs though?
It's pretty steep because you can't use the card on itself, which kind of stinks. But maybe they're thinking the steady and then the constant resource. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. To be honest, I think it should be a 2, but I think once you get it out, it's going to be very powerful. So 3 makes sense.
Right. Because you should be able to get a card that you can use it with his magnetic pull ability.
Yeah. But there's something I want to say towards the end that kind of references this helmet. So let's note that. Put that in.
Okay, put a pin in it. We'll come back to it.
All right.
Which one of the two events you want? Yeah.
Let's do... Well, I'll do the Thor one because I'm the Thor guy. So,
okay.
Event 2 costs Electromagnetic Blast. It's got, of course, the magnetic trait, superpower, and thwart. Hero action, thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from that scheme, you may discard an attachment with the text hero action or hero response. Well, that's interesting.
That is nice.
So a couple things. 2 costs for 3 thwart. Not that great. I'd rather see a 4 cost, but it does come with the extra stuff. So that makes a little more sense. Being able to get rid of a villain's, or I guess a minion's attachment with hero action or hero response is definitely not bad. And I also like the phrasing that it says, if this removes the last threat, it doesn't say defeat something. So even like permanent side schemes, this can activate from it.
Yes.
Or the main scheme. Point.
This is going to be my hot take. I don't really like it. I don't think it's great. I think it's weak at 3. I would like to see 4. And to me, those are so situational.
Yeah, that is the downside to it. It is situational.
To me, it's not consistent. It's not going to be consistent. It's going to be just kind of like there and like 1 out of, 10, 15, 20 times will it actually benefit you. it just has to be that perfect storm, and I don't think that perfect storm is going to be there enough to really justify the second half of this card.
Is this the first card that has both hero action and hero response?
I'm pretty sure Sunfire says both.
Does Sunfire say both? Okay, we'll have to look that up. But I want to say normally it's hero action that that one of these type cards gets rid of it.
Mr. Sunfire.
Now.
Yeah. After you play Sunfire from your hand, spend a lightning resource. Choose an attachment with the text hero action or hero response and discard.
Oh, well, there you go. That was done.
Yep. I was right.
Oh, there you go. I think that's a good take.
So far what I'm seeing with his events, like they're cool in their like packaging, but I think when you open it up, it's just gonna be like, this is a really junky toy to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it leads me to a very similar feeling with Metal Shards. 3-cost event. Hero action attack. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If that attack defeats that enemy, gain a tough status. That's awesome, right? 3 for 7. Potential for a tough. But I don't want to waste my 7 damage in most cases on the minion to defeat it. To get it to
not
tough.
Have overkill.
Not have overkill. And, if I'm doing a 7 damage card, I'm sending that straight to the villain, man. I mean, that's huge. But it's not going to defeat it, so the second half of the card is just kind of pointless.
Yeah. I think that's where, like, that Magneto's helmet comes into play for cards like this. It's almost like they're expecting you to have the helmet out. Then it basically essentially drops all these cards down 1. So now Electromagnetic Blast is a 1-cost. Metal Shards, a 2-cost. But still, it's for the price to outcome. It's good, but it makes you feel kind of mid.
It makes it like it packages it that it's like this sweet card, but then when you like go to break it down and like execute it in a real life scenario, it's like, ooh, that's not great. Now, I do like your point you make. You pair this with his helmet and a Death Focus, 1 for 7. Now you can get me on board, right? And I can forget about the tough. But if I had just this card in front of me, I think it's kind of doo-doo.
Hot take. Hot take. Steaming pile of doo-doo.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We only saw a few cards. I don't know if he comes with 2 of these, 3 of these. I don't know. But
personally, the way I'm feeling, if I had to guess, because I feel like it's predictable would be the right word, is there's probably 2 or 3 copies of the Electromagnetic Blast. There's probably 2 copies of Metal Shard. There's probably another attack that's like a 2-cost.
Oh, like a spread damage, right? Like an
maybe
area.
Like a spread damage. There's probably 2 of those. There's probably 2 defense type ones, be my guess. So that'd be what? How many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 events. How many are we expecting?
Yeah, and we negated it when you talked about Astrodem. It is 1 of 15, so it's very unlikely that he has a signature ally.
Yeah, so. I'm thinking he doesn't, but I could be wrong. And I'm guessing. See, his Magneto's armor is number 3. Helmet is 2, so there's a gap.
There's a big chunk.
Number 4, 5, 6, and 7 that are not revealed until we get to our next closest, which is 8.
Right, and most of the time, they reveal the first number value in the sequencing of them. So if we base it off of that, Electromagnetic Blast is 8, and the Metal Swords is 10. You can only assume that 8 and 9 are electromagnetic, and then 10, 11 would be Metal Shards, unless they also have 12 as Metal Shards. Yeah. But that's all speculation.
That's some huge gaps in cards.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be another upgrade of some sort. I'm not sure what, but
his cape.
Oh, you think his cape?
I don't know. Surely he's got to get an aerial, right?
Oh, please let it be like a car.
He just
He just always
gets
has
on
a car and just chucks it.
Floats on a car. There you go.
Yeah.
And then you could discard it just to throw a car at somebody. I like it.
That would be cool. But yeah, I'll tell you my impression as we kind of move on. I have a big concern. Well, let me backtrack. First, I think he's gonna have everything. He's gonna be able to thwart pretty good, attack pretty good. My guess he'll probably have some type of defense, so he'd probably defend really good. I think he's gonna be an overall type hero. He's gonna have everything you need to solo. But I'm afraid that it's all going to be about his kit, and the aspect's just going to kind of be left behind, like some other heroes do.
So I have one card that I think would be interesting if they could make it work. Do you remember playing the Magneto villain? There's that one card where it's like Archangel, and he's got the like beam girder getting wrapped around him that you never want to see. They should do that as his like defensive card. I hate that card. I can't remember what it's called. I was trying to find it real quick, but yeah, that one's awful.
You gave me a little inspiration right here. It's going to take me a second, but I'm going to look at his cards. Okay, Master Man, Electric Shock. Okay, here we go. So here are some potential cards that we're going to have, because
Wrapped
it looks
in
like
metal. That's what it's called.
So his thwart card, Electromagnetic Blast, it's a treachery. Metal Shards is a treachery. So there is another treachery, a Magnetic Missile. That was the one that if you defeat a Sentinel, it chucks the Sentinel at you basically. And it does a lot of damage. So Magic Missile could be a card. Another one is Electric Shock. It's a treachery. Master of Magnetism was a treachery. Wrapped in Metal is the Archangel one.
Yeah,
that's the one. I wonder if that will be like a kind of like a webbed up type card.
Right.
If he has that. And the other one is Magnetic Bubble.
Oh, so maybe he's got like a
maybe that's his
shield
defense.
kind of look, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna guess these other ones may be some of his
named the same.
Cards. Named the same, yeah. That's what I'm going with. We'll find out.
Yes. Because technically his main scheme is called Asteroid M.
Oh, no, look at that. Look what you found. So maybe he has quite a bit of side schemes, because his whole scenario has the side scheme stuff. Maybe he comes with a side scheme.
What if they just took the villain deck and threw it into Chat GPT and then just said create me a hero based off of all these keywords and it just spit it out, right? There you
go. It's very possible.
But,
they refined it after they did
right,
that.
Right,
but...
right. They have to humanify it or whatever. They had to put it in the other AI tool to humanify their design to turn it into the process.
Yes.
Yeah. Magneto.
All right.
We didn't mention it, but I think the article said November. So before we get to his aspect, Ryan, what do you think about? We've kind of seen this as the pilot year of the slowdown of a whole wave stretched over a year. What's your thoughts?
I think overall it's probably good. It allows players to play the heroes that have been released, get to enjoy them with different scenarios and stuff, and you're not bogged down by 2 at a time, and you feel like one of them's not going to get played that much versus the other.
I agree. I felt like when they were doing, especially the 2 in the same month, there was one that was getting a little more neglected, and then when they were doing every other month or every month, I was I just got a few games in with this one, and now there's another one out. I got to crack open and take through something. Yeah, it's at times it's it stinks because I hate waiting, but then at times I'm I've gotten to really enjoy, like this time around, like Iceman. I played him multiple times, and then I'm kind of ready to go on to the next thing, and it's just in time for Jubilee right around the corner.
That's right.
So I like it. I like it a lot.
Right on, man. Well, let's tackle
Magneto,
some of these aspects.
He is the leader of the X-Men, after Charles Xavier passed away. So it's fitting that he's in leadership. Any of these leadership cards jump out at you, Ryan?
It does come with a new player side scheme.
Oh, yes, of course it does. You want to talk about player side scheme?
Yes, it's one of those fancy ones that has the linked keyword. I mean, it's not technically on this player side scheme, but the cards that come with it do. So it is called New Recruits, 0 cost, 2 threat per player. Play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. So it's trait locked. When defeated, each player chooses one set-aside new ally and adds it to their hand. And I'm guessing it probably comes with 4 new allies?
I would guess, because you're playing a 4-player game. Someone, you don't want someone to be just kind of like left there with their hands empty.
Yeah. And then it only shows one of them. Anoli? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I would pronounce it.
Yeah. And he gets bonuses. And so on and so forth, as long as your identity has the mutant or X-Men trait. So, it's basically like specialized training, but with allies.
Yep. And they go to your hand, so you still do have to pay for them, but they are 2 cost. I'm going to assume that they're all 2 cost. And they're basic.
That would be my guess. Yeah, I think it's all right for X-Men heroes, but I hate that it's trait locked. And you can't even use it as Cable, the side scheme guy, because it's X-Men traded and he's X-Force.
Now, could you though? Because doesn't his ability say you can put one into play? And technically putting into play is not playing it.
I can't remember what his ability says, but if it says that, then I guess you could. But I mean, would you want to play that over his?
No. But set up. Search your deck and discard power for a player side scheme and put it into play. So yes, you could do that.
All right, well, I guess you can.
Boom. That's why I get paid the big bucks, Ryan.
Oh, yes, you do. I think it's all right. I think it'll be fun to play with, but I don't know if it'll be one I will return to often because of it being trait locked.
Yeah, I think it's one you play around with if you got the right setup. Makes me think of Cyclops, right? Can do a lot with X-Men allies and such, which segues right into another Cyclops ally. 3 cost, 2/2/2. X-Men, after Cyclops enters play, choose an enemy. Until the end of the phase, increase the amount of damage that enemy takes from each attack by 1. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Health's a little low. I think the cost reflects that. But I think he would be really good for like a big 3-4 player game, especially if you can get him out first or early in the round.
Yeah.
Wail on him, the villain.
Yeah, he's a good candidate for oh shoot, what's the name of it?
The one where you put him in, is like To Me, My X-Men or something.
Yes, it's the one that you can just put them in for like 1 cost, and then they get discarded. Whatever that is.
Yeah,
can't believe I forgot it.
Enters play, which is what you want, and then you make him thwart or attack once, and he's done anyways.
Yep. Oh man, it's bugging me that I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember the Lord of the Rings version of it. Oh man, it's killing me. Don't worry, I'll find out. Sneak attack. Yeah, not too bad.
To Me, My X-Men is similar. You play only for an X-Men trait, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally, and put it into play. Still in play at the end of the phase. Add it to your hand.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think there's another one that plays similarly.
Yeah, sneak attack does the same, except for you discard them, but they come out and play, but they have to be in your hand. So
yeah, this one you meal for it, or you search. So as long as he's at the top.
It comes with Phoenix. I'm not going to talk about it. I think it's fine. I think the two cards that a lot of people are talking about is Won't Stay Down and Noble Sacrifice. I'll do Noble Sacrifice real quick. 1 costs. It's a tactic event. Hero action. Discard an ally you control. Heal damage from your hero equal to the ally's printed hit points. And give your hero a tough status card. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. A tough and healing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it might not be a whole lot of healing, but I mean, you're getting a tough status card with it, let alone healing. So,
and I think in this later part of the life of the game, they've kind of baked in, especially in the last like 2 cycles, they've baked in a lot more chump blocking kind of countering.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of more like overkill and this and that. And I think the value of a tough in like the current waves has been more valuable than a chump block, because you don't have to worry about that overkill, and you don't have to worry about this or that. Or like if the ally dies, you don't have to add 53 threat onto this side scheme or whatever.
Yeah. I think my biggest, I wouldn't say gripe, but like missed opportunity is the card's called Noble Sacrifice. You're supposed to like die. I'd rather have it be like remove an ally you control from the game. Yeah. Like
you're hardcore,
commit.
Ryan.
Yeah, well, commit. If they're going to do a noble, if they're going to do Noble Sacrifice, like get rid of them. Like that's the risk you're playing. Get rid of them. And I think that can open up some interesting plays, because you're lowering your deck limit. Not deck limit, but the size of your deck by doing it. You're healing. You're getting tough. That's really good.
Dang,
but
Ryan,
no,
you play for
just
keeps.
discard it. And I mean,
do it again.
I mean, from a thematic perspective, as soon as you get the ally back out, they're back, and it wasn't very noble sacrifice. It was just a classic Marvel can't kill their hero. Goodness.
Okay, all right.
But that's a very minor thematic gripe. But I think the card will be fun, and I can't wait to play it.
All right, I haven't really looked at. I can do this all day. 1 cost support. Play only if you're an X-Man or X-Force or X-Man traded. Alter Ego, discard this card. Return an X-Force or X-Men ally from your discard pile to your hand.
I need to note, what's the name of this card?
I'll just do that. Won't Stay Down. I don't know if I ever play this card. I don't focus so much on allies very much. Minus the like recent episode with making a Voltron ally deck. I just don't do a lot of allies, or like want to focus on getting a particular one back.
Yeah, I could see this work for certain decks. I think it could be good for like maybe X-23. That'd probably be good.
Sure, that's true. Because then you can go pull it at any time. That's true.
Ooh, Iceman could probably utilize that with his
that's
his
true.
dudes.
His clones. His snow cones.
Yeah. So I think there's a place for it, but I agree with you. It's not going to be one I have often.
Auto include. No.
Noble Sacrifice might be an auto include.
I don't know. You're going to house rule it and play it all hardcore, so I don't know if I'm going to play it.
I am going to hardcore that.
All right, Ryan. I guess we'll wrap up this wave. The trend was to not include a bunch of extra cards, but to include some modular sets. And they are going with everybody's favorite secret society, the Hellfire Club. Total of 5 cards in this encounter set. You got Kevin Bacon. It's one of those. Sebastian Shaw.
That's the only one. The other one's not in the movie.
No. Celine, and they show the side scheme. So I'm assuming you've got 1, maybe 2 other minions, maybe 1 other minion and a treachery. I'm not too sure. But
yeah.
Kevin Bacon looks pretty beefy. Toughness, villainous.
None of the cards really stand out to me as like something unique. So I'm kind of like, okay, it's just going to be another encounter set.
But have you read the forced response on Kevin Bacon? It's pretty crazy. Like he can hang out.
I mean, but with 5 health, I mean, you just do 5 damage and you don't have to worry about it.
This is the gripe, right? This is the game, like, fixing my gripe right away, right? It's like, oh, you don't want to use metal shards on a minion? Here's this crazy minion that can only be attacked once per phase.
Yeah.
Thanks, game.
It always knows. It always knows. Yeah. Overall, I think there's going to be some good cards. I think people will probably like Magneto. I think I'll probably play him, and my prediction is I'll be like, yeah, he was fun. He's probably strong, but I'm ready to do something different. I don't know. Maybe I'll love him.
I think he's going to be a little bit of a technical character. I think he's going to take a little bit of time to know the things that he wants to do in what order. And I think he's going to be a multiplayer character.
Oh, okay.
I think he'll have what he needs to be a solo, but I think you're going to see more value in a multiplayer game, right? Because metal shards, you got a big beefy minion from somebody that can't take care of it. Boom, I'm more likely to just throw my metal shards there. Electromagnetic blast, I'm playing in a multiplayer game. I'm seeing multiple encounter cards, a potential for more attachments on the villain. You know, the second half of that card may actually work now with an electromagnetic blast. I can flip down a little easier. I don't know. That's just my thoughts looking at it and discussing it with you, Ryan.
I'm curious on some of these other cards. I feel like we didn't really see as much as we normally do. Maybe we do, but I feel like we don't. But yeah, I think it'll be exciting to see. I think it'd be a real stab in the people's guts if there was like another Beast ally that came out.
I don't know. My only thing is you can hold out and maybe we get like a Mod Podge kind of wave in the future where they throw Beast in or something.
Yeah, well,
like a X-Men X-Force, you know, those like 2 or 3 characters they just couldn't fit into that initial trilogy wave.
Yeah, so. I mean, there's enough like mutant type storylines. Like we've talked about, like if they did like a X-Men versus Avengers, like that might be a good opportunity to get in some of these Avengers they missed and X-Men,
right?
/ X-Force.
Right. Yeah, definitely a thought. All right, Ryan. November. Guess we'll find out. Thanksgiving with Magneto.
That's right. He's ready to lead the X-Men in his white suit.
He probably is the one that like carves the turkey every year.
He just does seem like a turkey
He gets
carver.
the knives that come up. He's just controlling them with, you know, and he's just slicing the turkey. And then just like forking it and just being like, what do you want? White meat, dark meat? And he's just dishing it out.
Probably is, and he does like metal plates, so he just does the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Set the table. I'm on it. He just does it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably while he's sipping tea.
Right. Just everything's flying around. Teeth, hair, and eyeballs everywhere. Knives and forks just flying around.
I mean, because he's electromagnetic, right? Can he like do microwave in the air, like cook it?
You're right. You don't even need a
your
deep
food's
fryer.
cold?
Boom. Just zap it. Yeah. I'm with you, Ryan. He's just...
There you go.
Thanksgiving hero.
And that's what it's going to be. I'm excited.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what side dish Magneto brings to your Thanksgiving dinner. And you can reach out to us at marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. We appreciate everybody listening as always. And if you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. Thanks.
And Thanksgiving is a U.S. holiday, so good luck to our international listeners.